Hello, everybody. Here we are today with my guest. This is the part where you, yes,
Jennifer.
Pronounce your last name for us, because I'm really bad at that.
Kimmel.
Right, and we're going to be talking about how certain organizations have really been shitty and like selling out the women that come to them for help. Tell us your story. Well, first, let's start with your marriage.
Okay. Well, I knew him for about 3 years before I got married.
And when did he turn out?
So it was a slow process, like it often is. He told me before we got married that he liked wearing women's clothes because he had an experience when he was little. They all have these stories. I didn't know that.
They all rehearsed it. They all hear each other's stories.
Well, this was more than 20 years ago now. And he said he had a really bad childhood. And he said that he ran away from home when he was like 6, and he came across his auntie's house, and her wash was on the line.
Okay.
So he put on her underwear, and then he put on her skirt, and he put on her blouse.
He's never had a hard time and wanted to put on somebody else's underwear.
I don't know. And he went to. I picture these like big bloomers because it was he's like 65, so I'm thinking they probably were like pretty little delicate things. But anyway, he put them on, and he put on her skirt and her jumper, and then he went and fell asleep behind a haystack, and his grandparents found him hours later. And so he said, whenever he was stressed out or whatever, since then he puts on women's clothes
for stress relief.
As a comfort, stress relief. And because I had already gone out with him for a while, and I really liked him. I thought we were having conversations.
Like he was having it to himself.
What he was doing was gathering information to turn on me later. But I thought we were really connecting. I was really, really shy, like really, really quiet. And he very
non-threatening at first. You didn't know.
Shell, and I was really stressed out.
So you his fetish? Like, how did he start?
I never had any of these words for it back then. And I don't think he did either, So he didn't say fetish. He just said that at first he said it was something that he did for comfort.
Yeah.
And I thought that was weird, but I was like, okay.
How often did it happen?
It's
in the beginning.
In the beginning, not very often.
Right, of course. They wait for the true entrapment.
Then he wanted to wear it when we had sex, and I didn't like that.
Oh wow, that's the next violation.
I didn't want that, and I told him.
None of them do. Did he want you to be a lesbian?
They always turn into.
Or Peggy.
I want to change the past, because I know so much more now than I did then. But he would always be the victim then. If I tried to have some boundaries or say what the hell, then he would act.
Yeah, I freaked out too.
So, but it was slow,
I had a girlfriend that wanted to trim me out in bed, and I was like, "Look, my strap on. I'm never gonna feel anything with it. I'm not gonna pretend it's real." Like,
I just kind of like being real, like 2 people in the bed. Yay! I'm just happy that to have sex. I don't need all that extra stuff. But and I told him that, because before that happened, we would have nice time together.
Yeah, of course. They court you, make you fall in love, and then they want to change things up to fit their fantasy.
Slowly,
of course.
I thought when I told him I didn't like this stuff, and
it would be okay. You'd be respected.
Sexist, hurtful things, I would tell him, and I thought he heard me. I thought there was a conversation happening.
It was a one-way street.
And then when I would get really mad or really upset, he would either diffuse it by going, "Oh, I'm sorry, let's just let this go." And I hate confrontation. I would be so upset anyway, and then I'd be like,
"Yeah,
hey, he's been really nice and cuddly like it was before. Okay, right, okay." And I was relieved that
you didn't have to do that, right?
And it just got worse and worse, And I understand,
they're happy. They escalate, they test you to see if you're going to set a boundary, and then they keep going.
And then when I would say, I'm leaving, he would stop. But there's always that binge and purge, but I didn't realize that either. But it happens with a lot of abusive men will stop for a while, and then it just always starts up again. And he would stop for a really long while, and then it would start up again, but he would be angry the next time. So he'd push it further a lot.
Yeah. So he wants to get his way, regardless.
And but I really thought I was having a conversation with the guy.
Yeah.
And
you have a relationship with him.
He wasn't, because by the when he finally got me here, because I left him when I had the kids, I left him twice. He was suicidal. he was going to die. He couldn't live. He was going to stop all this, blah, blah, blah. So much shit for such a long time. He told me the whole time we were together that he was so homesick and he really wanted to go home to Ireland and we'd have a great life there, blah, blah. And I thought, right, okay.
Yeah, you're hoping what he's true.
But I thought, right, and if it gets bad over there, I'll just leave him again. I'll be fine.
Yeah.
But he really kind of...
Now everybody knows.
I was fucking stuck. Pardon me. I was stuck. I I just walked right into it, but I really didn't think. Because at home, in America, I had my whole family. I had my sisters. I didn't have to spend loads of time with them, to be honest. You know, he wasn't...
Yeah. You got isolated.
Yeah, I could just manage it. I didn't realize how difficult it would be for me to get away from him here.
Because it's true and trap. You went till you suckered in and you got married, and then what? When the kids came, did anything change?
When the kids came, he would leave me alone because he said he didn't like what I looked like when I was pregnant, and afterwards it was really sexist and hurtful, and I told him. I
think they're so jealous when you're pregnant. Like, that's when it's, you know?
I don't know. I think it's...
I've heard so many stories where that's...
I mean, he was...
pregnancy or it's going through puberty. Those are two big times.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
dude,
no. He wasn't one of those guys that wanted to have, like, a baby or a period or something.
Thank goodness.
That wasesn't part of it. He just...
But he's still competing with you with that for attention. You know, that's why I think he's getting angry, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Because he's not centered, in the fantasy world is not centered, then that's a threat to him.
Yeah. But he seemed to get less and less human, you know, a long time ago.
Because he become more cartoon.
But, you know, the more
porn.
More
fetish.
Yeah.
How long?
And more people enabling him.
Enabling. Of course. If you don't enable him, problems wouldn't grow so bad.
He networked big time. I didn't realize how networked he was with guys like him until I came to Ireland.
They find them and they support each other. Yeah. They support the fetish.
Yeah, there was some.
It's like a bunch of sex criminals that like start talking to each other, and then they, you know.
That's why I keep saying these fetishes escalate, and they also come in clusters. Like if they
network and move together,
you know. But these guys are aroused by violating you.
They're groomer gangs. If you get them together,
violating is what gets them off. So they're just going to move very smoothly into other paraphilias.
And all days they had to hide this, so they didn't have that support system to bully you with and to groom everybody around them.
Much fucking porn. Sorry, I said fucking.
Yeah.
But I mean, just when we came to Ireland, he was retired, and he learned how to use a laptop. And
okay, what was the breaking moment? What was the time that you decided this is it? I cannot handle anymore.
Because he started to come into the he started to come into the out of the bedroom. He started to come into the living room. He had on whatever his fucking fishnets and stuff, and
oh gosh,
down over it, and he came into the living room. And so I said, I gotta get him.
With your kids out there, you started making it more public to them.
He didn't let them see what was under it, but I didn't. It was, you know, it was moving out. It just escalated really quickly, and it was slow.
Absolutely.
Ireland, it escalated really fast. No, he was just getting worse. He would not heat the house. He wouldn't take me anywhere to get the groceries. I couldn't walk. He moved to this house. He got this nice house, but I couldn't walk. See, I didn't drive, and I couldn't walk to the town from this house. There was like a really fast road. I did walk. Once.
He wanted to keep you away from everybody else.
He didn't let me talk to a soul.
I'm sorry you got through. You were entrapped by a troon. I mean, that should be grounded.
I feel so stupid when I look back because it wasn't like the signs weren't there.
Not you.
You know, I didn't, and I thought I had control of it, which a lot of people.
Of course, a lot of women want to.
And some people would, you know, back in America, some of my friends would be like, you know, that he's a bit weird. Like, you know. Is it good shit? And I would be offended when people would say that. I'd feel defensive of him. And they would say, I don't know.
You talk to him by your man or by your friends.
He treats me fine. This is my decision. I'm fine. I'm strong. Blah, blah, blah.
The red flags, you know, people try to tell you, and women automatically are told not to listen to them. This is why I'm very concerned with groups that tell you to ignore the red flags. We have to teach women to be like, you see that, you go running. You get out of there.
Or that the red
kids
don't mean anything, or they don't
exist. Place where there's APG.
Yeah. I even have a problem with that term now because it's so. They're making Blanchard, who came up with the term, is a misogynist. rape
Yeah.
enabling dickhead. But everybody
We
knows
have a
what
lot
you're
of
talking about. You know,
college crap.
when you say AGP, they know what you're talking about. But
Yeah.
now they're pulling so many different behaviors into AGP that it doesn't mean anything, just like trans. You know, any guy who wears...
Yeah, it's so special. You're a unicorn. No, you're just a man with a fetish.
They bring all these different behaviors in it to water
They're trying
down.
to make it sound
Really dangerous.
You have to study them.
AGP, even though I hate Blanchard, because people...
I don't care about all these old Pokemon terms, okay? It's a dude who's got a fetish, who's a sicko, a pervert. Let's just call it what it is.
I mean, you have all these people with straw men. Is that it? You know, they'll say, well, what if, you know, he just thinks those things and he doesn't act on them? Well, then he's not a fucking problem. Why are we bringing him into this conversation?
You don't even know about it. Why do I need to know about it?
You know,
keep your secret thoughts to yourself.
A problem.
Don't write a book about it and then try to normalize it.
Yeah, I mean, and that, yeah.
Okay, now, what point did you go to Gen Specs?
What?
After your marriage?
It wasn't that I went to Gen Spec. When I first got away from him, I went through like a domestic violence group. I was actually ringing this place. Group? There's so many things. When I was trapped with him, I was ringing this organization called Women's Aid. They have a hotline. It was really helped me. I mean, I rang them a lot because I was isolated.
Glad you had that support line of women back in the days. It was not run by men.
Fast forward to now, and the chair of Women's Aid Ireland is a full-fledged trans rights activist.
Oh, they took that away from women. They didn't want you guys to be able to get out of there. They want to groom you even after the divorce.
When Kelly J was coming to Dublin, she encouraged busloads of angry men to commit violence in Dublin against women who were... This is the chair of Women's Aid. This is where we're at. And sometimes
women, it's so sad for the Troons. We need to stop that in our movement. Like, we got to be stronger than this.
And the rape crisis...
That's a violation and betrayal.
I don't know what's... You know, the rape crisis centers over here, like in the Dublin Rape Crisis Center. I rang because I was having PTSD. And just for somebody to talk to, you know, because my friends, you know, it's a lot. I don't want to put it on them all the time. So I called there for some, and they told me to remember. They stopped me after like a minute, and I was having a panic attack, and told me that I needed to remember that all genders rape and abuse. So this was it's bad. And when I first got away, I went to a domestic violence group for women, and there was a trans rights activist in there, and she was saying, she was saying,
given like leadership positions are centered some way. You have to be mansplained, and all excuse and apologism was working in their favor.
Yeah, this woman was finding vulnerable young women in the domestic violence group to go to the local library to scribble on Germaine Greer books. Trans women or women. It was bad. And this same woman, she's well known here. Her name is
so you got away from the
Taryn DeVere decided after she got into trans rights activism, it just so happened that her little quiet boy was trans. And
of course. Oh my God.
And still people stick up, or people still won't stand up. Like everybody knows that she was talking about all that shit, and then just so happened to have a trans child. But
all this weakness gotta stop.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
Everyone has called us out for what it is: abuse and enabling, grooming.
But she was in the parade in my town last summer. And some crazy, seriously violent activists were paraded right through the middle of my town last year to applause.
I'm sorry. You have to live in a town like this.
I would say 95% of the people that live around here have had no idea what it was. They thought it was a gay pride parade. They thought it was about...
I wish you still worked there, Patty.
Yeah,
now
women are... I tried to holler and say, look, they're bringing this guy that looks like Herman Munster in to talk to little kids. I was the baddie. I was a right wing.
No.
I was a fascist.
Anyone with common sense is now the enemy. Like, no.
Yeah.
But so much gaslighting. And
they didn't have a picture of the guy.
Respect us so much of it.
They didn't happen to mention that he was BDSM furry AGP.
Of course not.
They didn't have his picture, because you see the picture. They just said he was from Trans Rights Equality Network Ireland, and
that's unforgivable. But now you come to a group like Gen Spec, right? And you do some interviews that want to talk about trans widows, you know.
I didn't go to Jen Spect. What happened is Stella O'Malley, because she's an Irish woman, was involved in all of the Irish stuff here. You know, all the women's groups and stuff. Stella has her finger in every pie. Is that how you say it?
Right.
She wants to suck up everything. She has to be involved in everything. So
of course, because they have to control the narrative.
And they started to fight this stuff. Stella was among us, and I you know, I trusted her at first. And then I saw the interview
with the mom.
She did the interview she did with David Hayden, the Pink Mist. You know, when
that famous one where he
gonophilia, like it was, you know, this he was the victim of it. You know, as if he couldn't control it, as if he didn't decide.
That's what I'll say. TT, all of them, it's like it is something you can control. You don't have to put on a dress. Nobody put a gun to your head. They're not doing it in those countries where it's not approved and enabled.
Yeah,
they didn't do it until now when they're enabling it. They didn't do it 50 years ago in public everywhere they go. No, it's controlled.
Some of them did, but they always abuse their wives.
Yeah.
And now, you know, they're celebrated and wonderful.
They're wonderful and brave. We got to cheer them on. We got to study them. They have to write books, so we need to, you know, publicize that. We got to call them our esteemed guests.
Yeah,
what?
We need to put the reading list. Yeah, but see, that's what all the distraction is about now. Is they put his book on their reading list, and they want to distract from that. And boy, they're really trying. There's a bunch of them really trying to distract from that. But anyway, I tried to talk. I approached Stella to try to say, look, I want to counter some of the stuff that you're putting out there. I want to counter the stuff that David Hayden is putting out there about Agp.
This is what GroomSpect is putting out there. We recognize that some parents are going to still tune out their kids, and we respect it.
That was Stella O'Malley and Sashed's. And
how can we respect organizations
the launch for their book? That was
they respect tuning the kids.
That was for Stella and two others. It was for the pre-launch of their book.
Of course, it's on the book, and they're promoting it. Promotion.
Then Joey Bright asked Stella about that comment, and Stella tried to pretend that it never existed because they wiped it.
They wiped it, of course, but you have it. You gave it to me. Thank you.
They wiped it off the. You can't find that now if you try to. That was captured.
My God, this is showing who they are. Look,
all the time, like constantly.
This is the message they send out there. It's like, in my view, it's irrelevant if men could become women or whatever. It's just basically, who cares what women have to say about it?
Yeah, well, they'll say
you have to be willing to accommodate it.
They take the man's experience and they call it insight. But what they always do, including Blanchard, is say, but the women can't really give you a perspective because they're bitter. You know, they're
of course they're bitter. I'm bitter too. You have the right. Anyone have the right
to the men, and that's what Jen Speck does.
Yes, of course, nonstop. I've never seen one who's not an apologist. Look at this shit. She doesn't care about holding a line or leading people. No, what she wants is confuse people. That's exactly what she's there for.
Exactly why she's there.
Solid bullshit.
They've got at least 3 people there now that just hand out condescending word salad.
The intellectual.
All they're trying to do is deflect and pretend that they're better than us, that they understand better than us. Who do we think we are? I watched that interview again today with Kelly J.
Yeah.
And Kelly J said something.
We're gonna watch that in a little bit
about Agp, and Stella fucking laughed at her. Laughed at her like, "How dare you have an opinion?" You know, because what Stella says goes. But that woman lied her ass off through that entire interview.
I know.
If Kelly J said that she liked her because maybe Kelly J doesn't know that Stella lies to her teeth most of the time.
There's so many gamps.
I don't know.
There's so many gaps in that little group. I mean, people that actually have had relationships and polycules with APGs. I'm like, this is not people that are going to protect your children. I don't know. I just laugh about it. I'm the one afraid of this.
If they had, they would get it.
Right? I'm like, if you had relationships with TROONS, I don't think you're here to protect them from your kids. You didn't even protect them from yourself. Like you're still here, like telling us how great they are and how we have to focus on them.
Yeah. I mean, in the interview that she did with Kelly, she said what she wanted to do was raise awareness about gonophilia, like awareness was raised about pedophilia in the 80s.
They're just grooming people to normalize it. They're not actually fighting it. They're the awareness group. Like the kids are awareness. They just want to collect all the money.
She doesn't want to highlight the dangers of unaccounted. She wants
No,
to downplay the dangers. So it's
exactly.
a flat out lie. Because when I met with her to say, look, I want to counter some of the stuff that David's saying. He's spinning. He's lying. I know he is. She was pissed off. She had to talk to me at all. She's
Right.
Who do I think I am? You could tell that from the tweet. She said, I think I can behave however I want. Imagine a woman thinking she can behave as she sees fit. Anyway.
How dare a woman talk or think? This is what you're allowed to do. You're allowed to be a handmaiden that's like, you got to be more nuanced, be kind. Never laugh at men. Like, these are the rules right here that they want you to follow into.
I mean,
this is how they train you.
They say one thing, and then 5 minutes later they say another thing, and then when you try to
both sides of their mouth, there's a lot of that going on.
They just flip and flip and flip, and that is to distract us and demoralize us, because they'll do it right in front of us. They'll say one thing, then they'll say another thing, or they refuse to say anything. They just dodge.
Or they promote it. They promote this sicko and his book, and they tell you that he's not a fetishist. He's just a guy that randomly got there, is all innocent, whatever.
And they'll
he doesn't wear that dress doesn't signify anything about pedophiles, even though blue velvet is code for pedophiles. I mean, no, he just picked that dress for no reason.
He wrote about it in his book, which
of course he did.
Website, and would still be on the GenSpect website if we hadn't raised hell. It would still be there. So what they're doing is saying they're upset about a dress.
Yeah, or about the book.
And then people say it's not about the dress, and then Stella says something. Well, somewhere jeans and a t-shirt to get off. I mean, they just dodge. Men
are going to get off anything, but we don't need it in our face and like them fetishizing us. This is what they're doing. They're fetishizing us directly through that dress.
I know. And then, what's the picture with Usilancic? Is that how you say that?
Excellence or whatever. Whatever.
Many people pretty much saying, look, I didn't melt. Look, here's me standing with this guy. I didn't die. What's the point?
Well, she used to date guys like that. That's her type. So
yeah, but I'm in the group. I'm going for GenSpect and O'Malley. I'm not going to GenSpect and O'Malley. They're putting the picture of Elancic or whatever on there. It's them. I'm not going after the women. This is the group that's doing it. They put the pictures up. Yeah,
they put it up themselves. They were all glad and proud, and they wanted to rub it in when women were saying, that's not right.
Yeah, no, it's not right. If they would, the thing is, they're not remotely straightforward.
They're not worried at all about how they affect the children. They're introducing them
in a trustworthy manner.
Okay, I want to talk about Glinner shaming women for having a pet troon and still not addressing the David hated in the room.
Well, I'll just take the most recent example that I remember. So he's always been a bit annoyed at a woman called Helen Lewis because he felt she betrayed him, or something.
Okay.
So he went after Helen Lewis for inviting Katie John Went, that's a man called Katie.
Yeah.
To the sister talk.
The one he claims he dated a bunch of lesbians. Yeah, that guy. I don't. Yeah. No love for him here. So
he went after Helen because he's always had a grudge against Helen. So he just took the opportunity to go against Helen.
Yeah, exactly. For the same thing he does.
He fucking sorry, said fucking again. He didn't do the same exact thing.
You wouldn't call out a man that way.
O'Malley.
Yeah.
I didn't say a word about that. But
that's people were so shady about who to call out in this movement.
You cannot make it.
No consistency.
People go on and on about how did this happen? Well, that's how it happened. Oh, okay, your friends get a pass. Your friends can do whatever the hell they want. And they
your pet troon could do whatever he wants, but it's only your pet troon. And then they can always call out other people that not their close friends. I hate that fucking wishy-washy troon femme, weak femme bullshit. You know what? If it's even the closest person to me, I will call them out. Like, fuck that.
The hypocrisy, their hypocrisy is undermining everything.
They're invading our movement because you guys make
their forces that call them out, the agents of chaos who call them out for being secrets.
Because this is not what I want. I don't want them to make it their movement. This is not a movement for troons, okay?
I think we know that.
This is what the troons want. They want to be centered of all these women who are groomed to be like okay with David. David is one of the most offensively, he wrote the guidelines to let fucking children be in sleeping bags at school with the opposite sex. That is so fucking crazy pedophilic.
To work, and he's a father of 3 kids. Yeah. But that's okay. The same exact thing. Another man could be doing the same exact thing, and they will target him. But that guy, he gets a pass.
Why?
Because he says he's a man?
He's the creepiest, one of the creepiest ones. Like I said,
all of them are men. We know
little
that.
girls are suffering through. He does this with little kids in his class every day, displaying his fetish.
I know. But he states the obvious, so he gets pointed.
He abuses his family, calling his wife a fucking lesbian, for God's sakes.
That was Stella.
Stella did that. You know, like, what?
Yeah. Yeah. But anyway.
Yeah. Ridiculous.
Yeah, but the hypocrisy, yeah. No.
Hey, Amanda.
And the thing that's bothering me now is that GenSpect has Sarah Phillips. They have a woman, a very serious intellectual called Colette Colfer.
All the fucking intellectuals they have, like this idiot. I mean, hell,
he doesn't exist.
There's no brain working there.
And Pluck Rose, you know, and they're all distracting and trying to demoralize, and there's Pluck Rose and
they claim it's all love.
They're trying to say, you know,
love
these men is wrong. Now, if they really want to highlight, if Stella really wants to highlight autogynephilia, but at the same time, she's saying that we can't shame them.
No, we have to shame them. That's what we need to do. We can't enable them.
All the time. All the time. It's a completely mixed message. And all the representatives of...
Because Hardline do not match. Don't match.
But, you know, like with Kelly, J. Keen, I don't know.
We're going to watch that in a minute, because that was totally some bullshit.
Well, the thing is, you know, Stella constantly says she's saving the children. She's the only.
She's not to save your children. I'm telling you right now. Her three friends are the biggest pedos in the world. Promoters.
So she can paint anyone who calls her out as a fucking ghoul, and she will. Also, she's really, really good at playing the victim.
She's good at playing a stupid idiot.
Or trying to destroy her life.
I know she's evil as fuck. I mean,
manipulative.
Obvious.
But people have called out the fact that Karen Davis keeps mentioning.
Called it out. Karen was 100% right.
Absolutely. And then people.
And that's why I'm going to play this from Rumbles.
I mean, there's just so many red flags out there. So many people calling out directly. So many people trying to work on this. And she just keeps saying, I'm saving the children. And that
you're not saving the children by connecting them with Buck Angel, who turned them out. You're not saving the children by saying you respect transition. You're not saving the children with these messages. These are like totally okay perverts and like enabling.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you can stop what you're at the same time perpetuating.
It's double talk, and we need to stop the double talk. We need to stop allowing any of this. I mean, which is why I'm going to play this video. Let's do a live reaction of this, because I know you haven't watched it, but I have.
I just watched it again so I could.
Okay. I just love this video. I'll stop at the good parts.
Okay.
So I will be using various voices.
Oh,
some people don't like this, but you'll have a lot more to be upset about when the video is over. So easy there, big fella.
Last year I made a video called Eyes Bred Shut.
He calls out a lot of the pedophiles.
Self-ID fundamentalists and their desperate
I love this videos for that.
Trans ideology's long-standing connection with pedophilia advocacy. It was one of my more popular videos, both because it was pretty funny and reasonably well made,
he was kind
and
of
also
funny.
because it picked the right people to expose. This is because most people, at least in my audience, enjoy laughing at self-ID fundies.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know how to turn louder.
Making it, I knew that the gender atheist movement itself and other
turn the volume up.
Also have their own affiliations with pedophilia advocacy, which they do not acknowledge. I think that's at least one factor in why videos talking about Graham Lee and the mess we're in are less well received, even though they're arguably more important, because many of the people who watch my videos might, one day, want or even need to go on a platform like the mess we're in, or be interviewed by Benjamin Boyce, and so criticism.
Everybody thinks that they're so important.
Like
they're not.
Blanchard and
we need to take them down.
Tend to fall by the wayside.
Oh, I can't turn it up.
More popular to talk
I don't know
about
how to do it.
Tatchell.
Sorry.
The book that he then says that he didn't know he was writing it. Chapter 4. Yeah.
So, with this video, I make some pretty pointed criticisms of Kelly J. Keen, but I do so as someone who recognizes the absolutely indispensable role played by Keen and let women speak. When it comes to abolishing trans lies in law, Posey Parker is a legend, second to none. Additionally, I made this video as someone who has made concrete material contributions to this movement. I donated hundreds of dollars to let women speak to help with the Australian tour. I messaged some of the organizers when they were circulating images believing their names were obscured when they weren't. Also, I pieced together a Melbourne demonstration so that I could objectively disprove the media narrative that the Nazi demonstration had anything to do with Kelly J. Keen. It turns out that I did this so thoroughly that Moira Deeming, an Australian politician who was kicked out of her party for attending the demonstration, sent my video
They
to
used
her
Stone's
lawyer
video,
to
by the
help
way.
with her
Stone's video was so
defamation case.
awesome that a
I say
politician
all
used
this
it
to undermine anyone suggesting that these criticisms are baseless hate from
to prove there was no Nazis. They actually used Stone Crone's video in a court case to defend the TERFs. I mean, that is awesome. That's how
someone who
important
doesn't support the
his
cause.
videos are and
So,
Stone's
with
are.
that out of the way, let's begin.
Glennaissance. Like there's so much positive news. There's so much wellspring of solidarity and support with you.
It's not a Glenner's it's either Glenner's nonsense or even Glenner's nonsense.
What I'm talking about is that this organization is viewed as some kind of credible body, and yet they are affiliated with virtuous pedophile supporters. I would think that that would give people pause, for the love of Christ.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. It's been a brilliant year.
It has. And you know, I've been outspoken from the very beginning.
Of the book that he then says that he didn't know he was writing it. Chapter 4. Yeah.
GenSpect is an organization that purports to reject trans ideology. However, it seems that they are merely trying to refine it. Last year, there was a scandal when GenSpect promoted a book written by an autogynophile. The book argued that autogynophilia was an innate sexuality, akin to homosexuality, and attempted to rebrand autogynophilia as autoheterosexuality. The book also argued that, in the absence of actual children, a desire to pretend to be a child during sex was also an innate sexuality.
That's what they promoted at that GenSpect conference.
You know, that was the book that
I mean, isn't that sick?
recommended reading list. Yes.
This is why people are upset.
It further stated that this practice caused no harm to
They're playing
children.
the distraction game.
Tragically,
Deflection
GenSpect has
game.
been doing this type of thing for years, and they keep getting away with it.
Yes,
They keep doing it for years. I mean, we keep calling it out, and people just keep supporting this.
He can't keep getting away with it.
I don't approve of much of what Phil Ilya said on Twitter after the event. I was recommended his book,
Only
and I was
because we called it
recommended his book
out.
by 3 people who I couldn't be closer to professionally.
Really, Stella? 3 people? What an interesting number of people to have recommended.
Yup, who's those 3 people? Magic. And does everybody here know who those 3 people are?
Well, nobody knows who those people are, but her, you know, her close-knit crowd at GenSpect is not that big. There's not that many.
Those are the 3 closest. It's pro PDO people. Come on. I think 3 of them, your closest people.
Those 3 guys, I keep calling out. I'm blocked by all of them. I keep calling them out. You know, they rely.
You don't belong anywhere in an organization for children.
They rely on these sexologists,
This
and they're
revolting
all
book,
fucked up misogynist
did the names of
guys
those
as it
3
is. But they
people
rely on
happen to
their
include
information,
Bailey,
which is mostly
Blanchard, and
speculation.
Cantor, who are listed on the
As if-
Virtuous Pedophile website.
Stella.
See, those 3.
But we don't know. If
AP
it's those
Cantor
3.
and
But whoever it was,
we don't know. Shocker.
Whoever it
Well, her
was,
3 closest people. Look
it's a
at her.
pretty shady character.
All right, I'm gonna let the video play a little bit.
Has a lot of
she should
trouble
have read
looking
it.
at the camera as she sets up
She
this
doesn't have that
misdirection.
many
To
people.
demonstrate this,
She
her
could have
screen
read
will
it. There's
turn
not that
black
many
and white
books.
when she looks away.
Who I
She
really
can
read.
pass the book if she
And
wants.
they recommended
She
it.
should
Will I
have read
ever take the recommendations again? No. But
She's-
I took the
That's a lie. I bet you she's gonna recommend a book by them by the end of the month.
She also took that picture of Phil Illy and
Of course she did. It was all planned.
tweeted it, but she just
Mhm.
lies. She lies. The thing is, why does she lie all the time?
Well, let's continue. I know why she lies because this is double agent shit.
Well, yeah.
recommendations. Sometimes there's a chain of trust, and you trust that this is
Why would you trust pro pedophiles to begin with? Why do we trust these people? Are they that dumb?
Well, she should have read the book.
Oh yeah, she pretend she didn't. She probably did.
For that. So, but the people that she trusted, she's just passing the buck. She should have read the book. She didn't, and if she may have even read the book and put it
Yeah,
on.
she's just playing dumb. I just believe she plays dumb a lot.
And
I think
the only
that's just
reason
her job is to play
that it
dumb.
isn't- The only reason that it's not still on that website is because women raised hell about it.
Of course, but this is why we need to raise our voices. This is why we have to raise our voices everywhere, except zero this. But let's keep on with how Kelly J handled this.
strong recommendation. Within that book, there's something about medical transition of children, so we shouldn't have taken it.
And age play, Stella. You're also forgetting that there was a section about age play.
One thing we've learned is we'll tighten up our policies around anybody recommending anything.
Or maybe you could just tell us the names of your 3 very close colleagues who recommended this book so that we also can ignore their recommendations in the future. Otherwise, it seems like you're protecting them at the same time as trying to get credit for pointing out that they had, at best, a severe lapse in judgment. But that
He had a
probably was
lapse
not the
in
case,
judgment.
because probably these people included
Bailey, Blanchard, and Cantor, who are listed on the Virtuous Pedophile website.
Somebody actually emailed us a book today, and she said, it's about gender. Could you put it on your website? We said,
It's all fake anyway. But
She needs a crowd of people to read the books, really? Like, she
right.
read.
They're all made up. Who cares about a book about gender? Wipe my ass with it. There's nothing true in there.
The title of the book itself.
I read a book called Gender Fake.
Homosexuality. I mean, she saw the title of the book, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
And that didn't maybe make her think. It didn't make her think that, maybe this guy was trying to spin it as something that isn't harmful. Because, you know, if you say it's auto, it just means it only involves you, which is the
They
same
keep saying
thing
that live. If you only keep it to yourself, but they never do. Or they wouldn't write books about it.
No, you don't hear her saying that much. She'll say it here to crawl out from under stuff, but then she'll say something completely different. Or she'll get 2 or 3 people that represent GenSpec to say these things and pretend that that's not her opinion. But
they're all representing GenSpec here. Let's hear the rest of the cleanup.
Right. She's having people say things on purpose.
Okay.
Wait, we need a team of people to read that book.
Here
You
we
could have read
find
it, Stella.
Stella, who is trying to indicate to the audience, but also specifically to Kelly J, something to the effect of,
oh, wait, I get it now. The F word is a no-no word, and I shouldn't say it around other
I keep
people.
forgetting that.
I'm sorry, Mama. Oh, wait, I get it now.
Wait, team of people.
It's so funny.
which is obvious
She seems to think
bullshit.
it's funny. I don't think it's funny that you put that book on the website.
Somebody actually emailed us a book today, and she said, it's about gender. Could you put it on your website? We said, wait.
Stella is trying to pretend that she is sorry, and that she understands what she did wrong. In essence saying, look, Posey. Look. I've learned my lesson, and look what a good person I am being now. I stopped the books. Look at me stopping the books, Posey. Watch me.
She
I'm
looks so
stopping
happy
the
about it.
books.
I've never seen anybody
And
sorry
Posey
that
is
looked like that.
Oh
He's
my.
nervous.
Yes, very good, Stella. I
She's
see
trying
you
to make it light,
stopping those
trying to
books.
make a joke out of
Very
it. She's
well
trying to brush
done.
it aside.
I'm so
It's
proud.
also funny that she put a pro-pedophilia book
The
on
problem is
GenSpec's
that the
reading
lesson
list.
is not that GenSpec needs a team of people to read each book they recommend. The problem is that this book in particular came recommended by 3 people who could not be closer to Stella professionally, whom she
Right, those
refuses to
people.
name.
It was recommended as book
I still
by
think
3
she just
people
didn't want to admit
who
that she was
I
just trying to
couldn't be
deflect from
closer
herself.
to
She should have read it.
professionally.
Watch Benjamin Boyce duck down when Stella says the
This is why they had it on Boyce's channel and not Kelly G.
Oh, I
King's
know.
to begin with, because it's a snow job. I mean, like, look at
I
this.
words closer to.
Recommended as book by 3 people who I couldn't be closer to professionally.
This is because Stella was putting all her chips on the table. If Kelly J. Keane lets this slip, and she does, then all
They shouldn't. I mean, really, who would let this slip? Who are the people recommending this?
Stella has to do is finish the
I
joke
don't
that
think
she
she
is
let it slip.
telling, and if
She let
Kelly J.
Stella
laughs at the
reveal
end,
herself.
after accepting the premise that the problem is that GenSpect doesn't have a team of book checkers, instead of that GenSpect has been deeply connected to pedophile apologists for years, this will effectively be her endorsing this version of events. Some people have argued that Kelly J actually won by allowing Stella to look silly.
No, I don't believe this. I think every time that there's a debate where they fucking just let them talk, they let them own their narrative. They dismiss it as silly. But no.
I kind of, you know, I don't want to hear any more autogynephiles talk.
Yeah.
They love that. They love to waste our time. They could talk about themselves until 2000.
They make up excuses,
like
gaslight. They
don't
do this
really
little
wanna-
game that fucking Stella's playing.
I don't want to hear
Being
Stella
dumb.
lies and spins. I don't really want to hear her either. But
I want to hear women call them out and just
She's
say,
dangerous.
yo, this whack. What the fuck are you thinking?
out there catches
Stop
on.
it.
And so she needs to be stopped, and people have tried. So I think Kelly's just letting. I think Kelly. I keep saying Kelly. I don't know her, but I think Kelly J. Keane is just trying another angle. Stella revealed herself
Yes, I understand that, but she doesn't
Look how
come back.
great I am. And let's not talk
Let's
about
see the rest of the
that.
video.
What really struck me in the beginning, not this one because it's not, but as she says, look at all the things I've done for you. Look at all I've done.
Yes, I think you sold something on her. There has to be something.
This is, this is what my ex would do after all I've done for you. You're going to pick on me about this one wee thing. It's an abuse tactic. She constantly
It is.
uses.
But why is she acting like the victim? I mean, like she's been groomed into, not combating this. This is Kelly J.
For really destroying her. No, I had an experience with her behind the scenes, and she lied, and she bullied, and she manipulated.
So
and
you think that's happened behind the scenes here? I mean,
with me. So
you think it happened with Kelly J? You think that somebody intimidated her some way?
That way. So,
okay, well let's see the rest of this video because there's so much truth in this.
But looking silly is not at all incompatible with having a lot of power, and it is nowhere near a sufficient enough response to the scale and urgency of this problem. Jen Specht should have burned to the ground during that interview.
She could have.
Jen Specht should have burned to the ground 150 times already. So we can't pin this.
If I told you
151st time it didn't on Kelly J, who's trying another angle. But
I'm saying it has to burn down every time. I'm like, why is it still? Why are people endorsing this? Why did at the end?
The question. That is the question. They don't want to believe. They just.
I'm saying that that's sweet, and we need to start calling it what it is.
Children. Anybody that criticizes her obviously doesn't want to save the children. But
this is a logical conclusion. Let's go to the rest of this.
The thing that's been broken from the beginning is she separates saving the children from addressing what's happening to women.
You can't save children and be friends with pedophiles, dudes at the same time.
It's not two separate things, but you can't go save the children and throw women under the bus. Or
you can't. No. You don't do that. Save the children.
Demonize them or vilify them. And then you're going to go save the children?
No. If you're shooting women up, you're not for saving the children. I'm sorry. I just don't buy into any of this weak shit.
That was operating nearby, but not to worry, because I did an interview with one of them, during which, even though I specifically endorsed their project and wished them
she wished them well and endorsed her product.
Well, if you look at my body language, you can totally tell that I think they're crazy, then.
See? Her body language does say that they're totally crazy. So why is she fucking doing this double talk shit?
Because people have called them out directly about 150 times, and Stella plays victim and says she's saving the children. She's saying everybody.
Okay, I understand that's her part, but we need to be stronger than that. Why didn't you just admit that? It's weak.
Chipping away. So Kelly made one chip. We're making another chip. We all have to stand up. You're not supposed to talk about them.
100% stand up against pro-pedo things. There's no middle ground. There's no sorry. You're promoting a book that has pedophilia messages. No, drop you all. Somebody who recommended it, everybody who okayed it, everybody who endorsed it. Bye.
Well, Stella put it on the recently reading this, obviously.
The 7th attack on Israel in a way that Kelly J team found objectionable.
The director of Women's Place UK liked this tweet on the 8th of.
See, she calls out other women for other things. Very easily.
I saw that whole thing.
October.
That
Hamas did an outstanding attack. Israel will learn lessons.
In this case, she had absolutely no problem condemning the entire organization to which they belong.
Yeah.
Can we stop that for a second, or can I?
UK.
Okay, we can stop it.
So here's the thing. Okay, that's completely. She's in her studio by herself.
Right, but
the other thing was an
interview to her head.
Right, so and also those women aren't saving the children, or at least they're not claiming to every 5 minutes.
They're still fighting for it. They're supposedly in our fucking the same way Jen Specht's in our group. They're in our group.
It's a different scenario. She's calling out people. They're not in it. They're not sitting.
They're not more important than her. They don't have more money than her. There's some reason.
I think there was a reason that and Stella talks about it at about 59. She says how surprised she is that Kelly was, I'm paraphrasing, but that Kelly was civilized.
Why I don't need civilized women. We need fucking angry women.
Things that Stella put in there. Oh, but you had the Proud Boys, and you had this and that.
It was emotional blackmail. I saw that.
And I never said anything, as if I'm not going to say you're. It's a transact. It's so much.
That's why you have no troons and none of this shit connected to you. You need to have none of this.
Kelly doesn't do that shit. That's
Right.
still, I mean, she's just trying to put, no, I think that woman exposed the bejesus out of herself. You know,
Okay, but like I said, you should not endorse crazy. You should not promote, say okay on any of this shit.
Yeah,
Sorry.
maybe she doesn't know
I don't do that.
WPUK, they told you they were on the left.
Keane didn't just say it was a bad organization. She said that the success of the movement to defeat the GRA depended on women, not only leaving women's place, but also politically isolating those women
It's
who
hypocrisy.
remain.
And I would say, if you're still in women's place, then you are part of the far left. You are part of the destruction of our society right now.
The far right does it
in
as
a
well.
bizarre move, the woman who famously declared that she would literally shake hands with the devil himself began to publicly read off the names of every single woman in an organization, not because of what they themselves had done, but because of who else was also in.
Most TRAs are not just the men. They are the enabling. They are the everybody who fucking enables for these men are TRAs. Anyone who promotes the idea of trans rights or pervert rights or that it's a religion, a sexuality, any of that shit that TT just threw out, yeah, they're TRAs. Lots of them are women, and they're paid in these orgs to play dumb, and that's what's going on.
Yeah, but I don't think Kelly J.
Let me just remind
platforms them. She calls
No,
them
I
out.
didn't say that. I didn't say that she was. I'm just saying there's a reason she didn't call it out, and there's something behind that.
Well, I think she was just taking.
Intimidated? You think there's this woman here, this
No,
firecracker?
I didn't say she was intimidated. No, I said she was taking an approach that was most effective to expose Stella for what she is.
Is that okay? It's not the most. If you endorse it, at the end of the day, you endorsed it. That's not the most effective way to shut it down. Sorry.
No, I wouldn't say it's the most effective way.
Remind you.
Yeah.
One of the ways, it's going to take
Who
a
is
lot
part of Women's Place
people
UK?
opening their mouths.
Gail
Kelly
Cameron,
can't take them down.
Ali Cisse, you know.
Kelly.
Why do you mean have to do the dirty work?
Well, you will, but you know what? It's going to take a lot of us. She can't do it.
Okay,
on her
but
own.
why does she not take the first shot as the strongest voice in this fucking movement?
Said a lot. She's countered them since. She counters what they put out there, but she can't take that on her own and bring
On their
it
face, and to their face. If you can't do it to their face, then what's going on? She's done it to Troons. She's done it to everybody else.
Because there's a lot of parents involved in GenSpec. There's a lot of detransitioners involved in GenSpec. It isn't just Stella.
It's the whole system, but you got to go against the system. Sorry, we're talking about protecting kids.
Okay, you know, I mean, there's no. I am no fan of Stella at all. But I think it's going to take more than one approach to expose her for what she is. I think she exposed herself very well there. Other people didn't see it.
Cisse. She's
But maybe Kelly doesn't know she's a fucking liar.
Hanover hussy.
No, she
so
does.
Ali Cisse.
Let's make it clear.
So somebody's saying, didn't Kelly J used to be against bashing and judging other people's work?
Yeah.
Good job.
Can I just say to you from me, fuck off.
It's hypocrisy.
But if she said that, if she said fuck off to Stella O'Malley on Benjamin and Boyce,
if she said what?
She would have just been able to use that to play victim again. She would have been able.
Who cares? Why are we letting them play victim? We call it out.
Oh, I'm not letting her play victim. I call her out every single day.
Yeah. None of these people are victims. I'm sorry.
A strategy.
Even Kelly J. She's not a victim here.
No, what? Kelly J's not a victim here. No.
Yeah.
No, but I think she had a different strategy, and also she might not know that Stella is a liar.
Endorsing people is not a strategy.
She's part of a collection of women who claim to do some work about sexual violence. Haven't heard her leave WP UK after.
That just means you have your own agenda. I'm sorry. If you endorse something that's bad, you have another agenda going on.
Well, I mean, is she going to endorse something this bad? Is she going to? Stella says constantly, and so do so many people on her behalf, say that Stella is saving the children.
And that's not what they said.
I'm sorry, GenSpec is the only group that's making any headway in saving the children.
Not true.
People don't often talk about how the fact
people
is
doing
you can't save the children if you're going to kick women in the teeth.
Yeah, you can't.
You know, you cannot. No, you cannot separate the two. You
I can separate.
They're not separate issues. If you do it, that's divide and conquer. Stella wants to corner the market, so she's going
to. She doesn't get to be a voice of this movement. I am dethroning her officially.
Kelly J or Stella?
Anybody who endorses it. I don't even care if it's. I don't care if someone endorses it. I'm going to take them all on and say you're wrong. Sorry, you're weak. You're wrong. You have to call out this stuff and end it.
What is she endorsing? You mean endorsing GenSpect or endorsing?
Yes,
endorsing
GenSpect does not need to be endorsed.
I don't think so. No.
No. Okay.
And I certainly don't think Stella needs to be endorsed because everybody's. It seems like everybody has a script. They always say the same thing. I'm surprised that Kelly J didn't say you're a compassionate because I can't tell you how many times I heard that one single word.
Right.
And let me tell you, if you cross her, you will not see compassion.
Cross me, you will not see compassion. But if you side with fucking pedophiles, sorry, that is my limit right there. Very clear boundary.
Maybe there's a lot of stuff that Kelly J doesn't know about.
Well, look, stop playing it.
Lied to that entire interview. He lied from the beginning. She lied and she sidestepped and she danced around things and she promoted herself. But she
promoting yourself. That's what's going on.
We weren't there to defend women. That was just one tiny thing. That didn't matter at all. Women didn't matter at all. We were saving the children.
They're not saving the children.
Yeah.
By doing this. This is not, you can't do two things. Like, a guy could do like donate to fucking charities and still be an abuser. You have to call out him being an abuser. You cannot just give him a pass because he does one good thing.
Yeah, but I think Kelly
this is even worse. Even more
throw women under the bus and save the children. She wants to let women speak, and she wants to rescue the children or whatever. She knows that the two things are connected. She's a mom. She has kids. She knows her kids in school. She knows.
Does she want EPGs being the one
to separate it into a separate business? I told you. I sent you the thing. The GenSpect sent out called Beyond Trans.
Yeah, exactly. That's next level.
It's so like beyond pedophilia, beyond AGP, beyond murder. Like
no. This is call it for what it is and end it. Let's end it. I'm gonna play the rest of the video. Okay.
Obviously, it's a business.
All right. Let's play the rest of this video where he calls her out. I know you want to play defense attorney, but don't.
Saying just so many vile things.
In addition to reading their names, Keane also announced the projects these women were pursuing outside Women's Place, and, in one particularly weird case, she told can be added to a political blacklist.
Say about the stewards.
Peeling the Gender Recognition Act, and what's more, do it in a way that explicitly sabotages the idea that Let Women Speak is truly a single-issue movement, then I think it is not unreasonable to expect that she has that same energy when people she likes are engaging in pedophilia.
Exactly.
Perhaps, if Ray Blanchard was a Muslim, then we would get an appropriate response from Kelly J. Quick, someone convert James Cantor to Islam before anyone else gets hurt.
I really admire you and like you.
See? What is that? How can you say you really admire her?
Maybe she likes her and admires some of her achievements. The achievements that she talks about constantly. And if you criticize her, she acts as if you don't want to save the children. So
then you're not seeing the bigger picture. I'm sorry. There's no way to admire.
I do see the bigger picture, but I also know what a creepy, manipulative liar Stella O'Malley is.
Okay.
Maybe Kelly J doesn't.
Maybe she doesn't see it's the trees, forest from the trees. I'm sorry.
Person, I think that you've done some extraordinary things, Stella, and I'd really like there to be no flies on you.
But there are flies.
Yeah, well, we'd all like there to be no flies on Stella because he says he's saving
What are we
the
looking
kids.
at here?
What ghoul wouldn't want that to happen? I mean, we all. You
want to believe your idols, but they're not idols, okay? I'm sorry. If you're messing with the wrong crowd, you need to quit it.
Yeah.
This is GenSpect. They're
Maybe
pro pedophiles.
Maybe
we are looking at one of the premier pedo supporters that's part of the GenSpect organization that has been platformed on the GenSpect podcast, Gender a Wider Lens, praising the AGP of the moment who put GenSpect back on the radar, Phil Illey. Yes, indeed. Michael Bailey praising Phil Illey's writing and his insights before the
This is before she knew damn well that he was going to be praised. This is not even like shocker to Stella.
GenSpect conference. Notice the date, October 24th. So a couple weeks ago. And he's hailing this guy. Now, what does that say about GenSpect as an organization? Does it say that Phil Illy was some dude who just happened to, show up there? No, absolutely not. He did not just happen to show up. If he's being praised by Michael Bailey, who is hailed by O'Malley and Ayad as one of the pioneers of whatever the hell it is they're doing.
David Hayden was one of their pioneers as well.
This is not acceptable. These people are not acceptable around children at all. Not Phil, not Michael Bailey, not Cantor, not the whole fucking crew of pro pedophiles.
They had
an apologist.
This isn't GenSpect. This is Stella's gig. Stella and Sasha Ayad have that thing called Gender Wider Lens.
Yes, I know.
Talk with Michael Bailey, where serious safeguarding issues were raised about a little boy was copying his dad wearing women's clothes.
Yeah.
And they laughed over it and they thought, oh, well.
How funny. I don't think it's funny.
Exactly. Maybe it's inherited. And they're like, oh, well, we just don't know.
It's not.
They didn't they didn't mention that, sexual abuse, child sexual abuse,
Of course. It's not inherited. It might be passed on abuse.
People said this is a safeguarding concern. And a lot of really brilliant women said this is a safeguarding concern. And they stuck to their guns and they brought it up.
Of course.
And GenSpect wrote this big, long, condescending.
Don't they do anything else?
Saying, bullshitting, lying, pretending, their safeguarding has gotten no better.
Because it's not a safeguarding org. It is a pro-pedophile org.
It's an inconvenience for them.
All right, let me watch more of this video.
Scam. So, was he invited? Why did he know? How did he know that he could just show up there and be lauded? Who told him that? Was it planned? I think it was.
I think it was.
I also suspect that Bailey, who is affiliated with, I believe, Northwestern University, which is a major university, along with Bailey and Blanchard, who are affiliated with well-known mental health facilities, right, that are treatment and research facilities. It would not surprise me at all if a good portion of GenSpect's operating budget comes from these three, Bailey, Blanchard, and Cantor. They're all relatively well off. It wouldn't surprise me at all. Do I have proof of this? Oh, absolutely not. This is pure speculation. I'm just saying that Michael Bailey, who's a well-regarded professor of a large university, may have quite a bit of pull.
Oh, the good doctor.
In terms of helping GenSpect have a greater impact than you would expect from an organization that is as new as GenSpect. And GenSpect is fairly new.
Yes, it would be good to know where
anyone here. Far from taking a team of people to recognize that this was a horrendous resource, any individual looking over a text that was intended for an organization that purports to help families with children would instantly recognize that this book was atrocious. So the fact that it was thoroughly endorsed by three of, presumably, Stella's superiors, is fucking terrifying.
GenSpect, apologies for the delay in responding to your email. We deal with many distressed parents in need of help and unfortunately have to prioritize their needs. That's weird. Unfortunately, we have to
Well, shouldn't they always prioritize the needs of the families if that's the point of the org, right?
Yeah. And that's bullshit. They just don't want to address it. That's why they brought on Pluck Rose. And that's why Sarah Fillmore is in overdrive. They distract from it.
It's just to ignore the parents and like gaslight you all. I don't.
Stella did a blog. She does a blog, sorry, and she's been changing the language about these kids, RODG kids.
What's the language now?
Making it more vague.
More confusing.
More of a catch-all, so that she can speculate about what's happening to these kids and choose what's most marketable. And
of course, that's the whole game here.
So a parent left a comment kind of saying, you know, what's going on here? You know, why are you changing this language? I'm concerned about it. Stella deleted the comment.
Of course.
And then blocked the parent.
You're no evil.
She's
no evil.
But this happens more and more often. She'll say, "Oh, I just have to block the agents of chaos." And
all agents of chaos. Pay attention.
They say that they want to have this open dialogue. They want to talk about these things.
Hush, hush,
bullshit. They want to make sure certain voices aren't heard, and they frame women like me who want to talk about what happens to the people closest to an autogynephile. She doesn't want that heard. She absolutely does not want that voice out there. So that's not an open dialogue. She certainly wants the autogynephiles' stories out there. But she'll block parents that disagree with her. She'll threaten and see that you see. Oh no, we didn't watch the whole thing. We watched this, but
I do think we need cool shirts that say Agents of Chaos. You want one?
All right, and what Agents of Chaos and Forces of Darkness?
Oh yes,
train their critics in this manner. And I mean, you know, all I did was call her out. You see what she said about
all we ever do.
Oh, I don't know. I barely talked to Jenny, and she's just mad at me because I don't like these. I like these men, and she doesn't. It was pathetic.
Why don't we like these men? I wonder why. Anyway, let's continue.
Yeah,
prioritize their needs.
Then at the end, Kelly J. Keane basically says to Stella, "I know you didn't mean any real harm, so I hope that you have another crack at it."
I want you to replace WPATH.
I don't want them to replace WPATH. We don't need a more polished version of WPATH. We do not need more groomers taking place of WPATH. We need them straight up. We're here for the kids. We are not trans, no APG, no perverts, none of this. We need to end it.
WPATH for new people for GenSpect. I mean, it's gonna be an amalgam.
It's going to be what's left over. Anything that they can hide the dirtiness of that behind
devious people that will lie, people that will
exactly
deflect, people that have funding already that are really
professional gaslighters.
Yeah,
because the most high-end educational gaslighters in the world.
It's birds of a feather. Is that the expression? You know, it's funny how there's always all the people that you hear talking for GenSpect now. They are bullies. You know, in the way they shut people down, they dismiss people, they mock people, they belittle people.
They deny female oppression altogether, and then they say the men are oppressed.
People that I used to respect in making jokes with them. You know, meanwhile, they're what is it?
They have no skin in the game. They'll never be hurt by any of this.
Oh, yeah.
They're not in the women's prisons. They're protecting the sex criminal here. They're like, you just gotta get used to him, dude.
But
he's a flasher. Who cares? Why did you look?
Yeah. Well, no. What did he say? What did Pluckrose say? If a man shows you his penis. That's how she phrased it.
That is, yeah. I don't want to see a random dude's penis anywhere.
If a man
that's called a sex offender.
They downplay the harm all the time.
Yeah,
They downplay the harm of these men, and they vilify the women that are hollering about it.
That is such so backwards, so backwards.
Yes, it is, and and they have this new thing where shame isn't going to work. And we
are going to continue shame.
The only thing that's going to be effective is the law. So we're supposed to wait for people to make deals behind closed doors for what? Another 5-10 years? In the meantime, our kids are fodder?
Sue them all. Get your fucking men against them. Get your husbands against them.
With 15.
Not look their way.
Yeah. Was I supposed to just wait quietly while they brought that BDSM furry fetishist to my town to talk about part of his community? No. What do you think would have stopped that?
And only if people protesting.
The law came to my house for bringing it up.
Yeah.
Wait for the law? No. What would have stopped it is if more people said, "This is revolting. Get this thing out of town. Do not bring him to our town."
We have the majority, but everybody needs to just stop with this weak shit. You know, everybody needs to just confront it for what it is and just say no more.
Other little things just have had the capacity to damage some of the things that you've done, and I'd really like there to be no flies on you.
Which is why I 100% agree with Kelly J. Keane that gender atheists are not about to win. In reality, the movement seems like it is already irreparably infiltrated by pedophilia advocates.
Yeah, if you have them at the core of your movement, we can't win. We cannot win if we let them stay there. We need to kick them out.
They're already planning Beyond Trans. It's right there on GenSpec's website.
This is not our movement. This is their movement. We need to take on this movement.
What are we going to do? These people
Whole group needs to go.
What are we going to do? They're going to keep making money is what they're going to do.
We need to keep fighting them. We're grassroots. Yeah. We have to say no to all of them, or else we get true trans, or else we get APG apologism, or else we let the groomers have access to kids. All unacceptable. This is just not what I'm endorsing. I'm a rude femme, and my answer is not hosting debates with them, not giving them airtime, not giving them any oxygen, not donate your money to them. Just call it out and take it off.
Yeah, but I mean, that again, that did a great job exposing Stella for what she is. So we could just not talk to Stella, and Stella will just keep telling everybody every single day how it's her that's saving the children, and those silly feminists can do their thing, but really, they need to be more civilized. And what are they doing anyway? And there's no such thing as misogyny. And
there's nothing civilized about a troon, okay?
Yeah, but I mean, this is a language.
Yes, she's not civilized.
This is why she deleted and blocked an RODG parent who was upset with the changes she was doing in language. She told her that she wasn't civilized. So you have to speak to Stella in a manner that Stella accepts as properly deferential.
No, because it's called gaslighting.
I know. But then she plays like butter wouldn't melt. She's really good at just being adorable.
I don't think she's adorable.
People buy it. But she's got the wool pulled.
I think she's very malicious, and
if she get something from you, if you're valuable, then she'll give you all. You see her. She was in the telling. She clearly does not have respect for Kelly J. She said a couple times how she was surprised the way that Kelly J behaved, but then she laughs at her.
I know, and then she goes the Nazi thing around, which is not true.
Sometimes she's heaping praise on her as if Kelly J's not gonna notice that a minute ago Stella was going on about how Kelly had the Proud Boys and this and that, and I didn't say anything, so how dare you?
It's sin for sin, which is why we need to.
Thinks people are
games,
and they don't see these things.
I see it. I'm paying attention, and so is other people. Like
I had no choice.
I mean, made this video if he's not paying attention.
There was nobody. It was just me and her, and she let it all out. So that's why I talked about it. And people say now that it's just I just have a personal grudge. That is not what it is. The woman lied to me.
No scrubs.
And manipulated, and lied again, and tried to bully and gaslight me and victim blame me. And the way she carried on. In that meeting, I thought, this woman is a fucking danger. If she's going to treat me like that, she's going to treat somebody else that she finds inconvenient like that. And one of these times is going to be somebody much more vulnerable than I am.
Drop the
damage is going to be done. So I haven't shut up about it since, and I don't give a shit if everybody hates me.
Well, that's why you're my guest, because I only allow women here that are on the right side, that don't do the pet troon shit, don't do the weak femme shit. I know you did some apologists for the apologists, but I'll let you slide on that.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, you have to peck away at her. Let her expose herself, take her off guard.
No, I did it directly.
She put her on the back foot a couple times.
I'm divorcing the trans. I'm divorcing the APGs. I'm divorcing all of them. We need to drop the pedo apologists. None of this. We're not a horse team with them. We're our own movement. They're not our movement.
We do not have time to listen to AGPs because they will talk for the next 100 years and they never get tired of themselves, funny enough.
No, hours.
I mean, my ex, he'll still tell you, he would talk and talk until he found himself fascinating. And of course he came up with reasons why he acted like that and justifications. There were none.
Right, there of course there's none.
Certainly thought that there was.
There's no other sexualities. It's only heterosexual, bisexual, and straight. That's it. There's no out of
the house. He wouldn't heat the house for the kids. I had to put them all on the same bed, and they were cold. And I had to put like 3 layers of pajamas on them. I got out of there, but there was a time when it was really, really bad. It was freezing in there. He wouldn't take me for groceries until he had me so rattled that he could apply. He would have me so rattled that I would be visibly rattled when I was at the shop, and then he would apologize to people
for you after he caused your discomfort. Right?
He's in a mood, and this was public relations. This was so that people would think that it was me.
Yeah, of course, because we're always unhinged ones. We're always outspoken women are a problem.
This crazy lady, and he feels sorry for himself too. The man, he coerced me into things that I did not want to do.
That's terrible.
4 weeks.
Well, I'm glad I'm listening to your voice, and you're here to tell your story.
Okay. And he thinks he's the victim. He's a fucking rapist.
Okay, yeah.
Man, but he's the victim. And I am really tired of people making these men the victims because
or this mental movement, which it's not about them, it's about taking them away from us.
They can absolutely help themselves. Absolutely, they can control it. I've watched my ex. He can turn it on and turn it off whenever suits him. He just feels
and they get off on it. They get off going into our movement and invading our spaces in our movement and shutting women down in our movement.
You say that breaking a woman into parts for male appropriation, you know, so that they can get aroused, isn't misogynistic.
Of course.
This is what I have a self-loathing lesbian.
Why do they need to dress up like us and pretend to be us? They don't.
Breaking us into parts. We're not even human beings to these.
I am not a hole for a dude to put his whatever in. No.
Yeah.
This is why I'm not okay with Sheep and all the other fucking pet firms that are around, because they all send these stupid messages where they fucking disrespect women like nonstop. You can't give them a minute without them disrespecting women.
They show themselves for what they are constantly.
Yeah.
And then you have like David Hayden's and this.
But we've heard them too much. We need to stop it.
Shite, yet they're absolutely full of shit, and they will keep lying and lying and excusing themselves and making themselves into victims.
And we have to feel sorry for them because they cut off their own penis. I'm not sorry for you, dude. In fact, let me sharpen the knife.
But no, it's an aid or it's genetic. No, it's entitlement and porn.
Yeah, it's disrespect for women. Like,
and yes, I see, but I didn't get that at the beginning. You kind of, I mean, I'm used to
because you've been gaslighted. You've been groomed. They worked on you for so long when you were married. Like,
I was kind of, I mean, I had
trying to be a good wife.
I dealt. I don't think I want to be a good mom, but I never
good mom, right?
But you know, but they see. There's so much sexism. You know, all of us have dealt with some degree of sexual.
Of course, we're all groomed that way from birth. But we need to stop. We need to wake up from that.
And then, I mean, but I dealt with sexual abuse when I was a kid. I didn't have the easiest time growing up.
I'm sorry.
And I talked about that, but that doesn't mean that I want to skinwalk as a man. It doesn't mean I think I can break men into parts and cobble them to myself. And I mean, there's no excuse for this.
There's no excuse.
When I was talking to him, he kind of
normalizing this.
He was different because he was Irish. I didn't really, and I'm so used to American misogyny. I didn't.
Different brand of misogyny.
Like, well, you know, he just seemed kind of gentle. He did seem kind of sad, and you know,
they can play those games.
At the end of the day, you know, he was sad because he couldn't have his way in all things all the time.
Okay, most narcissists are very charming people. In fact, you should worry about the most charming people in the room. Yeah. Those people are manipulators.
I have ever seen a narcissist. It is Stella O'Malley. Watch the narcissist rage because it'll come out. It does come out. It comes out in tweets. It comes out that she is who would a narcissist would say that the people who are criticizing her are agents of agents.
Everybody is just agent of chaos when they talk about protecting kids, but she's somehow kids.
So brash and so angry about it. If she didn't lie and make excuses and dance around it and smear people behind the scenes, she never addresses it. She smears people behind the scenes. It's disgusting.
You know, I do all my call-outs in public, okay? I have no shame, but that's because I know I am righteous. You know, I will tell you myself. Yeah. Prove me wrong on one of my call-outs.
Yeah,
I will back it up.
I still go back to it. I really just want everybody to be okay.
I just want this trans crap to end, which means we have to end all apologies.
And I really do. My kids are all captured from one degree or another. My little tiny beautiful wee town that I live in Ireland. I love it. The people there, I love them. It's such a nice place. But this bullshit is
right
in place. I mean,
I want my lesbian community back. I want my dating apps back. I want, you know, to just forget about all this gender crap and laugh at it like we used to back in the day when people had common sense and didn't fucking hold back. Nowadays we hold back because this person's a hero or this. No, don't hold back.
Yeah. It's bad. You know, in Ireland, they're trying to take the word
their
mother.
Feelings. Crimea River.
Did you know that?
The what?
In Ireland, they're trying to take the word mother out of the Irish Constitution.
Yeah, it's a crime against humanity.
progress and it's a step forward because they are bringing in language for carers,
Backwards.
and there are a lot of carers because the older population's getting older, so there's a lot of people that care for their parents. But you don't need to remove the word mother to include the word carers, or
No, you
or
don't
father
need
for that matter. But what they want to do is they want to remove the word mother.
Okay. You know why they want to do that? Because transhumanism. They want to be
yeah.
I mean,
But I just saw a newspaper article today. I think it was the Independent saying this is why you should vote yes because carers need to be recognized. But they didn't say one word about the word mother being removed.
yeah,
Include those things without removing the word
being
mother.
vague and like trying to do something that sounds good. Same game, same game.
It's so bad here. Self ID went through in 2015 on the back of gay marriage, and even I didn't know it was happening. Even though I went through all that, I didn't even know it was happening. I was all like, "Yahoo, gay marriage!" I had no idea that self ID was put through. He did.
Of course he did. This has been planned way before. Nobody,
My ex is in the Philippines now. He told my daughter, who was I think 15, I can't remember what age she was at the time, a teenager, that he was going to the Philippines because feminism hadn't hit there yet. Here's the thing. Oh yeah, I want to say one more thing. I know
they hire like lady boys there. That's why.
I just want to say one more thing before we go. You see, people that my ex-husband hated were the same people
that Jen Spec hates. Right.
He hated feminists. He hated women.
All the abusers hate the same people.
Themselves. I was a really quiet, timid woman when I met him. And
I'm glad you changed.
Pretty quiet and timid. I'm just fired up. But, and that's why he went for me.
It's a show you have
sorry. Another one more thing. He went for me because I was quiet. I was really conflict averse. I was really shy, like really. And I wanted to avoid conflict. I wouldn't stick up for myself when I should have. I would argue with him when it was just me and him, but he knew that I was soft and he could get over on me. And now the women who won't fucking take it are the villains.
Of course.
That's what we need. We need the women that will speak up. And it took me.
Just speak up.
I'm not speaking up now, but women who speak up are not the problem.
No.
Not even close. And
the problems are what we are speaking up about. Listen.
They has the men's interests at heart. Anybody, no matter how they say it, even, the two women that were pictured with the Katie John fellow.
Oh, yeah. Those two
I get you. Women,
lesbians.
I understand why women are pissed
off. A lot
of
political lesbians talking for turns.
I used to like them both. I mean, they did great work. I used to really hold them in esteem, both of these women. They could have said, I understand why women are pissed off about this. I get it. I get it. But look, I didn't want to be in that picture. He photobombed me. Or they could have said, hey, man, get out. Or they could have said, don't put this picture on the internet. But what they did was they just reacted in a really condescending way. Like, oh, the riff-raff. Oh, the riff-raff, and we big heads are going to sort
I hate all this pompous bullshit, too. Stop acting like you're all that and shit. Because you did something, you sell a book. That's just means you're working for you.
I kept open for all these women. I had great respect for both of those women, and now it's gone. Gone.
My respect has to be earned and has to be re-earned. It always has to be earned.
Right?
Outside I don't respect.
I saw there was a great kind of webinar a few years ago when Irish women really started to rally and get pissed off, and both of those women spoke at it, and they both brought me to tears. I was so happy when that webinar happened, so I had great respect for them. And then
they shit on you. This is why I call it betrayal.
And they had, both of them had betrayed us to a degree with their little autogynephile friends, but this.
I agree with the TROONFEMS are always disrespecting people speaking out and letting them speak over. It's fucking. I'm sad.
Yeah, I am tired of it. But
I'm tired of the weak femme bullshit. I'm tired of the apology. I'm tired of all that shit.
I'm tired of the condescension. Yes.
Yeah. I'm tired of. I had to endorse it because somebody put a gun to my head. No, you didn't have to endorse it. You could call it out.
No, yeah. What is a total bomb? Then don't put the picture up. And the woman. Don't
call me your esteemed guest, okay?
The woman that tweeted that picture and called them esteemed, so it would include
my colleagues.
is trying to do a court case for.
They're not equal to us. Let me tell you right now. Perverts are not equal to women speaking out against perverts. No equality there.
Listen to this. The woman that took the picture is called Sarah, and she is doing a court case to get single-sex rape crisis counseling. And she put a picture of...
Is he allowed in your
profile and called him esteemed. She
right.
doesn't wanna hear it. She's dancing around. She don't want to hear it. It was a mixed sex event. Okay.
Maybe they'll trust him to run the fucking place.
He was just trying to speak. No, he was brought up to speak on his own. He was the only person in the audience that was brought to the front to speak. And he was actually recommended because he has a group.
I heard that he talks to children.
Teens. Yeah.
How the hell do you let a pervert talk to children?
There, like Lily Maynard, she's on Twitter. She analyzed, the entire thing. There were good things said, important things said, blah blah blah.
Right.
Why was this guy? He was platformed.
One of these things don't belong. I wonder what it was.
And why in the world would they recommend this guy?
It's like a secret. Don't let me just throw it in, like Pornhub does. Pornhub will get people to watch one kind of porn, and then they'll throw in the training porn just to normalize it. It's a secret.
And you know what? We have to bring these things. We have to be able to call them out, and we have to be able
He's
to.
He's telling that lesbians date him now. That's what he's doing on Twitter right now.
And,
I saw that.
But we're supposed to. Oh well, He
never dated a lesbian. He dates a lot of street women that fucking like his fetish.
And I kept hearing,
I don't think he dates anyone at all.
Good. She does good. Or don't keep talking about them directly. Just talk about other things. I'm just going to keep calling them out directly because they.
I'm going to call out them directly. Name the problem.
Getting out there.
Yeah.
I saw some woman who calls herself a radfem. Saying that she doesn't hate autogonophiles, nor do I. I don't hate anybody. She doesn't hate.
I do. I hate everybody who promotes the harm of children and perverts that want to flash in people's faces.
But anyway, yeah, I know. I mean, they're not. I don't like them, but I don't know.
I do.
Say the word.
I don't have to like them. I don't have to have good feelings about them.
I hate pedos. But anyway, No, I forgot what I was going to say. What?
I'm sorry.
What was it? Who was I talking about now? It's gone.
Okay.
What was it? Oh, Anyway, it was a good point. But
I wish
I can't remember.
I hope you had a good time here with me.
I did. It was fun. I felt a little bit like I didn't want to really trash Kelly J.
I know, but you didn't. You defended her. You were here to defend her.
I think
I understand.
We've got to chip away at this huge organization.
I know it has to not be one person, but you can't endorse this. I cannot let it slip when you endorse it.
I'm not fucking endorsing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We need to chip away.
That's my qualm there. If you want to expose it, do not endorse it. That is a contradiction there. That is a fucking little game you're playing.
Yeah. Maybe she really just doesn't know she's a liar.
Hey. Maybe she's fooling with a Gen Spec shit, but then I don't think she's as smart as I used to think. You're telling me that.
I remember what I was going to tell you. I'll just tell you really fast. So this radfem, or she calls herself a radfem, said she doesn't hate autogonophiles because they didn't ask for it. That's the thing.
No.
That's the shit that Gen Spec's getting out there. Okay,
it's not a natural thing. The
young fellas, because the young fellas were groomed by old hardened fetishists. So the young fellas are responsible for themselves.
Yeah, they're still. And all men are accountable for themselves and everything they do.
Absolutely capable of hearing the truth, but a lot of them were groomed. But these middle-aged,
doesn't give you an excuse. Even if you're groomed,
they made the choice themselves.
That's like saying all these that burn people, they were okay doing it because people told them to do it. Like, no, everybody has a responsibility to say no and not do things.
Yep. So it's innate, or it's a sexuality, or all these little things that Gen Spec's thrown out there.
Excuses.
The fact that it's misogyny.
Yeah, exactly. I will not tolerate any of it from any dude. I'm you don't get free passes with me.
No, and I don't really tolerate anything that tries to cover it up from anyone.
Exactly, that's the way to go. That is the rude femme motto here.
I'm a rude femme. Am I? No,
no, you're too light for that. You're so important, voice, that I had to come and ask you to speak because I think it's very important to tell the betrayed woman side of it.
Yeah, it was just more like a frog in a pot. It was very long. But that when we moved to Ireland, there was.
I'm glad you're out of there, and then you're speaking
good now. I'm good now. But that was
Great.
like 10 years ago now.
I want you to feel like your voice has been elevated, and
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I know everyone in the chat has been totally supportive. And I love you. I love this crowd.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Yvette. And
Well,
maybe we'll talk again next
yeah,
time.
let's do something in the future because I do want to hear from you again.
Yeah, something might happen. We'll get them. All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. I will be doing something else with Kiki and Stone very soon, like probably next week.
Cool.
Yep. And expect
right.
more. Glad to have you.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. See you all soon. Thank you.